Okay, so we have two more fixtures to go here. The most critical one, actually out of everything that I've did so far, is the two fixtures here on the top. I need to make something here and on that other one that actually comes down and mounts on this bench. And that's actually really critical because that's what's going to make the spacing between the top here and the shortened tank at the bottom that I showed in the previous video. And then the other fixture, I actually just noticed it this morning. I'm going to have to make something up for this. If I cut this tank where I'm suspecting I'm going to cut it, this is actually like right dead in the center of the cut. The tank actually looks like it's in pretty good shape here at this height, at least in the back. In the front it isn't. So I might not have to replace it, but I don't know until I actually cut the tank open. If there's any signs of rust at all inside, I'm going to just cut the whole thing all the way around and rebuild it. So in saying that, I'm going to have to at least put some kind of a fixture here so I can locate this thing again if I do indeed have to cut this section off here. So the fixture is pretty much done. I did the critical brackets up here on the top. As you can see, they're about an inch lower than the original brackets. These actually took a couple hours to make because actually what they did here, and probably can't see it on the camera here, but these blocks actually aren't even on here plumb with the tank, you know, which makes sense. I mean, it's a sheet metal tank, so when they welded these things on, I'm sure that the tank moved a little bit. But basically what happens here is the way they constructed these old loaders, I think a lot of it was done by hand, and I think they actually, you know, they would have welded these blocks on, they would have set it up in the machine and actually drilled right straight through these brackets right into the frame of the loader and then welded the nuts on. So you know, one block like this block here, for example, is actually tipped this way, and the other block is actually tipped that way when the tank is plumb. So you can see, if you don't take the time to really make up a jig like this, this thing can really be off when you're done, and it just saves a lot of work from trying to hone these holes out after when you go to mount the tank on the loader. You know, same thing with the bottom down there. So what's nice about this now is I can just go crazy. You know, I can cut this bottom off. You know, even if the bottom of the tank that I fabricate isn't really the same as the original, it doesn't really matter, because once I cut this off, I can slide this thing in, bolt it on these brackets. Here's another bracket here too I showed earlier that I had to do for this. I can just take this thing, once it's cut, slide it in, bolt this sucker back up, and then just adjust these bottom brackets, which I'm actually going to make new brackets for the bottom too, because they're pretty shitty. These bottom brackets, just weld them in position where they line up with the bolt holes. You know, and it doesn't really matter, you know, if the shape of the bottom of the tank that I'm going to fabricate is perfect or not. With this jig, it makes it nice because it takes all the guesswork out of it.